Hey guys, I'm with John Pohl. He's a career coach. John, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I'm in the greater Atlanta area, focused on resume writing, career coaching, interview coaching. In particular, my niche in the area is utilizing the ATS resume writing systems to help candidates get through the ATS filter and applying, as well as give them the confidence that they need to apply and pick up the tools along the way to interview better as well.
Nice. Wait, what exactly is ATS?
Yes, so the ATS is applicant tracking system. So it's Workday, UltiPro, ADP have systems within 90% of companies, mostly the big companies. But it's a artificial intelligence way to analyze and match your resume to the job opening.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So last time we talked, you told me that you were getting something around 60 proposals a day using inquiring about your services using LinkedIn ProFinder. This is a crazy amount of proposals that many coaches would love. They would love to be in a position where they have way more than enough proposals that they can even respond to.
Sure.
And I want to know more about like this tool called LinkedIn ProFinder, how it works, how you're using it, and how that's getting you clients.
Yeah, so I signed up probably three months ago or so. I know it's fairly new to the platform, but there's everything on there from DJ gigs to business proposal writing to building dashboards for people in IT. Kind of a freelance site. But on the resume, career coaching, and interview side, it basically works with an algorithm. Naturally, it's LinkedIn, right? But it distributes if you request services for a resume writer. It offers the proposal to the nearest circle to that person. So if they're in Atlanta, I'm gonna see them first, and then it spreads out and it spreads out. So I get proposals in my area from everywhere from Houston, Texas to basically Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so the first 5 pros that respond have an opportunity to basically sell themselves on why they're the right person for the job. But I think the large amount of it, Matt, is because it's the resume writing. I've talked to other coaches that are on the more bigger project consulting side, and maybe they'll get 1 or 2 proposals a week
Yeah.
to look at. But particularly within those 3 arenas that I'm in, it can be 50 or 60 a day.
Right.
So from my standpoint and other coaches' standpoint, you gotta be selective. The client has the opportunity to fill out a request form at the bottom, or they can keep it completely generic in terms of their profile, their job, what maybe their target industry is. And so from the selective standpoint, I only really respond to the ones that leave a full sentence or 2 about what they really need. So, I'm first in the job market for 10 years. I haven't written a resume. So if they're invested in putting the time into the proposal, then that's kind of how I'm selective on it, because it can be too many. And certainly I want to select the right clients for me as well.
Right. And it's good that you're in a position where you can be selective because you're getting so many responses that you can, use discernment to find out who's the most qualified to work with you and who's going to be the best fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then it's also nice that you, as you said, some people are on there, they're only getting 1 to 2 proposals a week, but because you chose a really hot, niche, with resume writing, and that's only the starting point, I imagine. Like maybe you can upsell them to like deeper career coaching after they do resume writing. But since so many people are asking for resume writing, it makes sense to like meet them where they're at in resume writing, and then
Sure.
have that be kind of the first foot in the door product. Then you can
Yep.
offer things down the line.
Yeah. So I mean, if they need resume writing, it's likely they need some help in other areas as well, and certainly career coaching is a part of that, interview coaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, the selectiveness, Matt, is really up to the coach, and you can really get your messaging refined through that in terms of your proposals, and the clients respond very well to it. What they do see is they see all your recommendations on your profile, and so I believe it's three. You need three recommendations in your field
Mm,
in order to sign up for ProFinder,
right.
and then it's a 24-hour decision of LinkedIn whether they're going to grant you to be a pro or not.
Right. I know some other career coaches who have yet to jump in on ProFinder because they don't have their recommendations or the two blog posts that you need to publish to get on ProFinder.
Right.
But it seems like a big missed opportunity because there's so much action happening in there, especially if you're offering something related to resume writing, or at least that's one product that you offer that can funnel into deeper offers.
Yeah.
Um, how long has LinkedIn ProFinder been around?
I don't know that one. I know I only found it a few months ago. Prior to that, I was pretty much involved in the content, in terms of finding clients, and I still am. Obviously, I post a lot of content and have a lot of followers. And it's interesting, Matt, in terms of the coach aspect is, from taking that approach, and I still get maybe 40% of my clients are just from regular engagement, and
Oh, nice.
it's more of a relationship. And I try and keep my ProFinder to maybe 60 or 70% of my business,
Nice.
just because the need is there. But it's more of a transactional
Yeah.
sale. It's a little bit more transactional selling. It's I need a service, and here's the product. And obviously, my personality is to actually make a relationship with them. But it's interesting to look at the two different angles of where you are developing your clients from, because it is a different selling cycle, ProFinder versus regular engagement.
Right, exactly. I think in regular engagement, it's like you're planting seeds to build long-term relationships, and then the ProFinder, it's like people who are very close to buying and then just want something real fast. And in a way, it's like meeting them where they're at. It's like you the way I see it is that ProFinder, especially resume writing, is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, is what they think they need the most. But ask any career coach and they say, okay, yeah, but you also, it's not just resumes, it's being good at the interviews and networking, et cetera, et cetera. So the way
Right.
this is like, it funnels into, it's the beginning of a relationship, but it just starts out with, hey, I need resume writing.
Yep. And as I told you in our prep call, that what's interesting is a lot of the clients that are on there on the resume side are not real active on LinkedIn. So from LinkedIn standpoint, they are really driving engagement and driving activity through ProFinder. And a lot of the people are going to ProFinder for their needs, because they're not as engaged right now in the content. And I joked with you, if they were, they would have found me by now.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are on there because they don't have a different resource to go to, and so that's why it's so great to be able to help those people, and it gets them more engaged on LinkedIn, certainly.
How do you stand out? What do you do with your profile on ProFinder? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's really a mirror image of your regular LinkedIn profile. They can certainly view your profile completely if they decide to do that. But ProFinder shows them the recommendation. It shows them any blogs or articles you've written, and I believe it shows them how many connections, and kind of your summary, which is under your picture, if you will, on LinkedIn. That they see that automatically when they view your proposal. Messaging, and that's important. Obviously, the quality of the proposal you send too, really makes a difference. I feel like a lot of people uh, coaches are cutting and pasting, and they're
Mm.
certainly not going to get the same success as putting a little bit more effort into it. And I think from the client side, they appreciate you actually responding to their direct request.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so that's really critical to stand out.
Right. In all kinds of marketing projects that I've done, the personalized responses get the most. I mean, the personalized outreach get the most responses by far. And we think that cutting corners and doing copy and paste things that gets us responses, but you need to have that element of personalization in there for you to really like get real reactions and replies. Otherwise, it's just basically a robot that's talking to you.
Yeah,
So
and I advise my clients. It's funny to make this comparison, the cutting and pasting and the attitude or mentality of blasting out your proposal. You might get 1 out of 20, right? If you personalize it, you're going to have much better success. But I tell my clients on their resume they can't blast out their resume; they have to personalize it to the job. So
exactly,
I'm eating my own cooking in that, right?
exactly,
So
exactly.
it's really the same mentality for that.
Yeah, and that's I see that being one of the biggest problems that people make when they're looking for a job is they're just blasting their resumes out like without any kind of strategy and discernment and it's really the relationship and like the personalized approach that actually will get you the job.
Yep.
um yeah, so I definitely see that a lot. And when you're responding to people's proposals, how long, or is it like a paragraph, 2 paragraphs? How long are you typing things out? Are you saying like, hey, I saw your thing, like blah blah blah. Here's a link to my services page, or is it like more of a back and forth?
Yeah. So the personalization part is certainly maybe a paragraph or so. I don't try to repeat what's on my profile already because they see that. So really, talk about what specific need they have or what challenge they have, because obviously they're coming there because they have a problem, right?
Right,
And so number one in selling is solving their problem.
right.
Some coaches decide to include prices in their proposal, and others don't. It kind of depends on your value proposition,
Hmm.
I feel like it kind of depends on the audience a little bit. So, certainly someone maybe in college wants to be able to compare pricing, and someone later in their career is more concerned about the overall results. So again, just back to personalization. There's no real right or wrong in that, um, but yeah, about a paragraph or so, and then include my Calendly link in there.
Nice. And
They
then you just
they
have a
LinkedIn gives them the ability to select. I'd love to hear more about your work, or your proposal doesn't meet my needs at this time. So they get the option to do that, and sometimes like going to the funneling, right? This will stand out to coaches. I want them to click on the Calendly and go to that, and then have the commitment to make the appointment, and then have
totally.
the commitment to send the resume before the appointment. So I'm taking them through the funnel, instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, hey, this is my phone number. Here's a great time to call." They're not as qualified that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I think that's a really smart way to go about it. Is go right from like the LinkedIn proposal to Calendly,
Yep.
because yeah, you're gonna get much more results from talking to someone over the phone or through like a Zoom, than you will just getting just trying to sell purely through text, because that's not gonna cut it. So I agree with you that the first thing that should.
And that step too, Matt, the step of them having to view the proposal, ask me for the Calendly link if they don't automatically click it, but the action of clicking and taking another step to get closer to me qualifies them better within the funnel.
Hmm. And is there anything else that about LinkedIn ProFinder? Any tips or advice, like best practices that you want to share?
Uh, I think what we just covered is actually probably the best, and I'm glad we kind of got to that. Is um, you know, not everyone is going to be your client, not and you're not going to be everyone's coach.
Hmm.
So stick to the really addressing their concerns. Give them that extra step, whether it's your Calendly or a calendar, another calendar link. But if you are too aggressive in terms of how many and chase too many people and shorten your process, you're not going to have the
Hmm.
results of ProFinder. So
So it's
you
better
you
to
have to,
really select who you're reaching out to, who you're
yeah,
with, so you
right.
have.
Be selective, and I think some of that, Matt, depends on what coaches are doing. If it's different than resume writing, of course, maybe the approach is a little bit different. Um,
Right.
but to have that mentality is key, and know that you're not going to get everyone, but also critical is that how that algorithm works, is the first 5 coaches get to see that person. So there is a time in it. So there could be some really good proposals I see when I get up in the morning that came in at 3 and they've already gotten 5 people and
Right.
I'm shut out. So literally, I guess if you wanted to spend 24 hours, but know that there's a time limit too.
Yeah, you
So
gotta be there responding.
you gotta be the first, one of the first 5.
Right. I was talking to someone else about ProFinder, and she was saying like the biggest problem that has with it is that she also gets like 60 proposals a day or something, but she can't respond to all of it. So we were saying like we were trying to come up with a solution, and it's like maybe even hiring someone to help you, to assist you if it's worth it, to assist you with responding to these proposals and getting people like to book a call with you could be worth it, just to give you to make it so that you can reach out to more people who are reaching out to you without sacrificing quality.
Yeah, and I would be concerned that quality is sacrificed, particularly knowing my competition within ProFinder. A lot of them are resume factories. It's someone that is cutting and pasting for them. That person may or may not even do the work, and that's to the point of the cutting and pasting. So to have it automated would be good in some extent, but the personalization factor goes away when you have someone else doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it's kind of a balancing act.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I think if you do like outsource some of the outreach, like make sure the assistant knows like you have to also personalize in order to get good responses and not to just copy and paste.
Yeah, yep.
Um, nice. So what you're working on next, you're getting plenty of sales through like organic LinkedIn content, and then also with ProFinder. So, and the next thing that you're working on, you're trying to accelerate your growth rate. What are the next steps for you?
Man, I'm trying to keep up with what I got, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've considered websites. I've considered going into the Atlantic Ocean of Google, and for what I do, I'm so well contained within LinkedIn. I have a target audience all the time, and
Right.
so growing that way. But I think in the future, um, see a definite opportunity to do some video coaching, pre-recorded video coaching, and have another revenue stream coming in with that,
Like online course.
particularly around interview coaching in particular. So someone goes to my website when I build it, and gets to have access to me on a video for a little bit lower price point. I see that as a next step, but certainly nothing I'm going to do real soon. Focused on the clients I have, and growing and continuing to hit my numbers.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I think that's a good next step. You're in a good position right now, and then like when you're ready, you can do like a pre-recorded course that goes along with like some sort of group coaching, but like more hands off. Um,
Yep.
yeah, and that sounds like a good step. I recommend Teachable. They make it really easy to make online courses. So whenever you're ready for that, Teachable is a really good platform.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview, and you've shared a lot of value in this, so I know people are going to get a lot out of this. And yeah, let's sign up for ProFinder.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look forward to watching the other coaches as well.
Awesome.